This is Guns, Knives, and Watches, and this is just an update video to this tourist kukri in which the Nepalese market to different tourists, this, there, or the other. And I'm not trying to make this kukri into one of the best, the brightest, this, there, or the other, da 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 da. Basically, this is just an exercise of the mind to make it into a better, more functioning version of what it is. And I do this quite often, and I have people around me do it quite often, just as an exercise of how to improve something without putting a tremendous amount of effort into it. And then you can take that experience that you have actually gleaned from a project like this and apply it in various applications. If anyone remembers, basically we had a kukri that weighed 30.55 ounces. That's a little bit heavy. And I said the balance was off on it and a few other things in the fit and finish. Well, of course I said I was going to cut this off the back. And believe it or not, this took off 1.35 ounces off the back of the knife, which was actually working against you as you were swinging it. Because as your hand is the pivot, okay, probably your front finger is the pivot, you've got the moment arm from here to here of this working against you striking this. It also puts the center of gravity of the knife closer towards the handle. Now, am I saying it's a dramatic difference? No. From all of the things, all the metal and everything that I took off this knife, I dropped 1.5 ounces. And that doesn't sound like much. 1.5 ounces, why would you spend 30 minutes going over a knife to do that? Well, this being back here just bothered me, number one. It didn't look like a real kukri. Even though this one still doesn't because it's full tang. But it at least looks more like a kukri. We've got the measurement down of this knife down to a little under 16 inches. And as I said, we took off an ounce and a half. Where some more of the weight came off was just making the metal, and of course it's not a perfect fit right now, but it's much better. Taking the metal down to where it matched the wood. Doing that on the back and also on the front. And have I got all the machining marks out of it? No. But it just fits my hand better, and I don't have that metal causing me problems and causing hot spots in my hand. Like I said, we're not trying to reproduce a kukri from back in the day, one of the military kukris or this, there, or the other. This is just an engineering exercise, and you know, we basically have the balance point somewhere around here. Is that perfect? No, it's not perfect. Would I like it to be a little farther forward? Yeah, but it's a hell of a lot better than where it was. If you can imagine 1.5 ounces being off here, it's going to move that back quite a bit. And any forward movement of the balance point, or the center of mass, the center of balance, the center of gravity, however you want to put it. And a lot of people put it a lot of different ways, but the center of gravity of this actual knife gives it better chopping performance. So that way we can actually evaluate honestly whether the steel has a good heat treat on it or not. I'm not expecting this to have the best heat treat in the world. I expect to have to sharpen it quite often. I expect this, there, or the other. But at least we have something that more emulates the product for which it mimicked or was supposed to be. Better fit in the handle. Cut that off there. Center of mass is farther out towards the end of the knife. And all in all, for 30 minutes worth of work, it's a win-win. I might actually take this out and test it now. Sharpen it up, test it, this, there, or the other. But This is Guns, Knives, and Watches, and it's just an evolution of a process, and if nothing else, it's a learning experience. All education costs. It depends on what you're willing to pay. There's opportunity costs, and there's a tremendous number of expenses that always go into the education of every individual. I wish education was free, but unfortunately, it is not. This is Guns, Knives, and Watches, and have a good one.